Hello. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. The sun is shining here in Montreal. Finally,
Yes, we have a sunny day here at 72 degrees. Are you a little bit jelly about that temperature?
I think we're not that far behind. Like it's. I sent my son out to school with a t-shirt and just a little hoodie, so
Oh, nice.
it's not too bad. It's not too bad. I'm not that jealous.
I was like 72. Oh my goodness, we should go film down by the water, but my internet doesn't reach all the way there. Hey, Karen.
Hello, Karen and Andrea. Hello. Welcome everybody. It's Tuesday, cookie therapy time. So today, I think that depending on the area, there's rumor that there's going to be a little bit of a baby boom with everybody locked up together.
Depending on how they spent their COVID time.
And so today we thought we'd do some baby shower stuff, some baby theme stuff. Hello, Kathy and Lou.
Fun.
Hello, Sally.
Hi, you guys.
Cheryl, welcome everybody. So yeah, we thought that a little bit of baby stuff was called for. And so Amy's going to be doing the girly version and I'll do, boy. And obviously you can tweak and, we have to be, people are kind of like now doing, a little bit for both,
Yes.
We're moving away from the stuff that's really girl and really boy. I think.
Well, and both of these, Mar, you could combine both of these for the gender reveal cookie orders, right? You could mix in the pink and the blue together. So that's nice.
Exactly. I mean, when you think about it, and you look back, like, why was Lego only marketed to boys?
Right.
Like, it's a toy that any kid would play with, really, right?
Yes.
They lost millions of dollars, right? By
they lost it because they didn't hit the girl market.
Exactly. Hello, Ara. Hello, everybody. Hello.
Well, they're here from all over today. We've got Alabama, Tennessee, Pennsylvania. I see some of my Virginia friends are on here. Dallas, Africa is here with us. England is here. Hey, Teresa.
Hello. So Amy's going to kick off today. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let me do the camera dance real quick. And then we're going to jump right in, you guys, let me move this one over. How's that look, Mar?
I mean, that's good.
Like, that's okay?
That's a cute little bib cutter.
Isn't that sweet? All right. Does that look all right? And I'm out of everyone's way there. Let's get my cookies where I stay in frame. I'm going to drop down just a little bit more for you guys because we're going to do some brush embroidery. And I know you guys like to see that actual brush and everything while that's going on. So we're going to do this cute bib cutter and this cute little girl romper. Isn't that so sweet?
They are very, very cute.
Both of these cutters. I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's not a Christmas wreath. That's really a bib.
It's really a bib. You can use it as a Christmas wreath, though. It'd be great for that. I like dual purpose cutters, but I really ordered it as a bib because the scale was good to go with this baby romper.
Yes, it's perfect.
And if anybody's on here that's in the Dots and Bow cookie crew with me, drop the link in for these for Katrina because Katrina made these cutters from Dots and Bows. And these are a great size. These are really nice to work on. They're a nice size to work on. They're not too small so that it makes the detail too hard to do. But they're a nice size cookie that one person would actually eat this cookie, right? Sometimes we get so large in the cookies that one person's never going to eat that whole cookie. But
exactly.
This I think is going to be fun, right?
Amy, 1 second. Let's just quickly thank last week.
Yes.
Those are the people that sent me stars and also some coffees. If you didn't know yet, we both have a coffee shop on, here it is. Here's the link. So we have a template. And this week, Amy has recipes.
Yep, I put my signature sugar cookie recipe up, which is great for beginners. And I put up our signature royal icing recipe, which is also super easy from beginners.
So thank you to those of you that bought us coffees, bought our templates. Really appreciate it. That's what makes the live stream possible.
Yeah, it's so fun, you guys, when the phone starts dinging. Oh, and by the way, Mar, I figured out how to load the little ka-ching sound. So we're gonna have to practice with that next week.
Awesome. Awesome. There's
Thanks, Paula. Thanks for dropping that in. She has a great site. So there's a specialty section where any cutters she's ever done for Seriously Sweet are in the specialty section. And then she has a huge selection of cutters on there. But Katrina's really sweet. I really like her. And she helps me a lot with custom things.
so awesome.
Custom cutters and getting designs ready to go. So do you want, Mar, let's show them the balloon cookie really quick.
Oh, it's in the pictures. Hold on.
Yeah, I put it in the pictures. So you guys, isn't that cool? Everything on there except the center dowel rod is completely edible. And the little, I used paper straws for the sunflower cookies, but this is a cookie I'm going to teach in May, and I'll get you guys more information about that. It's Frosting Creators of San Antonio, and it's going to be free for all of you guys. But I was so excited to make that cookie because I put a lot of my childhood paper mache skills to use, and it worked. You know, you try things when you're trying to make really outlandish 3D cookies, and you don't know if they're going to work. And this one was like, I felt like it went out of the park, so I loved it.
It's beautiful.
I loved it. I hope you guys like it.
Well, you'll post the link and all that on your Facebook and
Instagram. Yep, I'll put everything. You're gonna be able to watch it for free from my page, and then I think there's 7 others instructors that day that are for free that you can either watch from their pages or watch from the Facebook group that they're putting up. But that whole day will be free. So it's a lot of stuff, Mar, on there. There's a sugar artist on there. There's someone that does edible paints that you can use on cookies and chocolate. Oh, good, Jeremy made it. Fantastic. So I think it's going to be fun, but that was my break after Easter. You know, you have to have some fun after all the Easter orders.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I'm going to jump in. Are we good?
Yeah, let's go. Ready?
Okay, so really quickly, guys, just a quick tip. I sketch in black on camera for you so you can see it better. But typically what I really use is this pale yellow so that if I don't quite get to the edges with the icing, it doesn't show up as much, okay? So today we're going to do the bib and we're going to do one romper, but I'm going to talk you through a second version of the romper. Do you know how the little girls rompers, how they have the little diaper covers that have all the ruffles on them and they're all sweet looking? So I'm going to talk you through a back version of making this with what else, but of course my wonderful, much beloved number 80 Russian piping ruffle tip. So I'm going to talk you through how to make the ruffles for the little butt. So you can do this in your cookie set with a back and a front. But we're going to start first with our, what is this, Mar? Our bib. We're going to start with our bib. So I've got some toothpaste consistency icing, and I really like this bib, especially for the girly ones. Although honestly, I did a boy set and did the brush embroidery too. But I really like the brush embroidery just because it gives it some nice dimension. I'm using a Wilton, the rounded tip. Can you guys see that okay?
Yeah.
And off to the side here, I've just got a little paint palette tray with some water in one of the little holders. And I'm dipping my brush completely in the water. And then I'm just dabbing it. Let me put this in frame so you can see. There's not a lot to this. I've just gotten it wet and I'm dabbing it. We'll go back and talk about the sketching in a minute. I really like using the rounded brush. Some people like the square. That's perfectly fine. But I like the look. Can you see the detail you can get with the rounded brush? I just really like the look of that. So that's why I always use the rounded. But you can take one of the flat, stiff brushes and turn it on its side, and that will also work. So I'm going to leave that up to you, what you want to do as far as what you want your brush embroidery to look like. But I think this bib cookie people are just so amazed with how, if they don't cookie, they have no idea how you get that look. And it always amazes them. When they open up their cookie boxes here to check out their cookies, that's one of the comments on the brush embroidery all the time is, oh my God, how'd you get that? And then I just smile and say, order more cookies.
On live.
Yeah. I'm like, we've got 100,000 tutorials up now, right? Not me, but Mar. I'm working on my video library, but Mar has got all of this on every type of cookie you can possibly think of, right?
Well, I've done quite a bit, but if they want to see a lot of it, not Amy, what am I saying? Amber.
Yeah, Amber does a lot of this, right?
Yeah, it's one of her favorite techniques, I think.
And Amber likes the square brush turned on its side, I think. I think most of her videos use the square. I just really like this round to get this particular look, but this could just be something, you know, something I've seen in my childhood or something. And so in my brain, I see this because my grandmother used to do a lot of crocheting. She used to do a lot of crochet work.
Speak of the devil, there she is.
Is Amber on? Hey, Amber.
Yes. She is. So Karen wants to know why you're using water and not vodka.
Well, I mean, I guess you could use either, but I've never done that for brush embroidery. This actually, for me, I think vodka I use when I do painting, but I have always used water when I do the brush embroidery because I'm not actually adding a lot of water. Basically, what I'm doing is just getting my brush damp enough that it doesn't take the icing away from the cookie. So I'm using it more like a sculpting tool. So I don't think you necessarily need the vodka, but you guys could try it. I tend to use vodka on already dried royal icing. I really don't know what it would do on the wet. Maybe Amber can tell us if she's ever done that. And I am doing this at a pretty fast speed, not to confuse you guys, but just so you can see, this is actually a design element that you can add that doesn't take a lot of time if you practice. Now, everything you're doing in Cookie Land takes time if you don't actually put your skills to use and if you don't practice. But you can see we've been almost all the way around the cookie in what, just 3 or 4 minutes, Mar?
Oh yeah, you've been at it for 4 minutes.
And so not too long, I don't think. And I think that's something reasonable in your sets. One of the things I'm going to start doing this year is I'm going to put completed sets and move away from
Custom.
all the custom where we have to do so much chit-chatting back and forth and all that. I'm going to go ahead and put up some themed sets on my website that people can just order 2 weeks ahead so that they don't have to book so far ahead. And this is one of the things I'll be putting up. And so what I'll do in a 12-piece set is maybe I'll have 2 brush embroidery items, right? But then the rest of the set will be something I can do a little faster.
Exactly.
So let me lift this so you can see. Yeah, so Amber's saying the same thing, right? I think that's probably why I've never used it. I don't know that it wouldn't work. I just don't think you really need to do that, right?
And it's an added cost depending how much you're using. It evaporates. Yeah. I mean, water from the tap. You have a.
I was just gonna say, I go through a lot more Everclear than I ever thought I would, but yeah, I find myself using it very, very often. Now I'm hoping I'm going to try to turn this. I'm right-handed, so you know I'm always turning this, trying to turn it so that you guys can see what I'm doing. And I'm just using a basic. This is a basic outline and flood, one consistency, probably 20 seconds. And what I'm going to do is just go in here and I'm going to try to give it some curve with what I did for my brush embroidery. I like that look because it's a girl. Now, you definitely don't have to go in and do each of these little things separately in this scallop pattern. This is just my preference. So if you guys don't want to do that, you certainly don't have to. You can come up with something that works for you. I just want to show you that what you want to do here is just take the second. You know, I know that I tend to tell you guys the more times you pick something up, the more money the cookie costs. But I think when you're doing a couple of feature cookies in a set, that there are times where you need to pick that scribe up and just get that point just right. So now what I'm going to do is just flood this in. Hoping you can see, okay, I'm trying to keep it turned for you. If I didn't mention it, my brush embroidery icing was a toothpaste consistency. And if you are anybody that does DIY home projects, for you, you need to keep adding powdered sugar until you can stir it, but almost not stir it. It's a fine line there, right, Mar? And then it should be a matte finish, a flat finish like paint. It should, all the shiny liquidy part should be out of it when you're to that consistency. And just make a small quantity of it because squeezing it out of the bag can also become difficult on your hands if you're doing too much. And guys, seriously, don't take an, if you are making tons of cookies in a week, you know, if you're a person that does hundreds of cookies. So see how cute that is? And I'm going to pop this in the dehydrator while we go over to the romper, but don't take an order for a couple hundred of those. It will mess your hand up. I mean, it's just really a lot. So we're going to do the front one. Oh, I have an idea for you, Jeremy, for Halloween cookies, but I'm not going to tell you yet because Mara and I are cooking something up. So we'll leave that Halloween thing alone for a bit.
So push the romper an inch up.
Is that better?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know why I have such a shadow here today. Let me turn something here.
It's fine, Amy. Seriously, it's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn this sideways and we're going to work. We're just going to make these frilly little sleeves. We're going to be doing the front of the romper for right now. Okay. And I think I need a touch more icing. If you do find that you didn't squeeze out enough to make that initial line, what you'll need to do is just go back on top of the first line, right? Because you don't want two separate borders. Just go back to the first line. Because you see what's nice about this? Can you guys see that I'm not actually breaking the edge? I'm starting about halfway in on that line and pulling in, and I'm dragging into certain directions in each of the areas. Is that showing up on camera for them?
It is.
Okay.
Amy,
Yes.
Firefly, which I'm guessing is not her real name, their real name. How long are the cookies in the dehydrator, and what temp?
Okay, I keep my dehydrator at a very low setting when I'm using it. So it's set at 105, and I just pop them in long enough for them to crust. So not more than 5 minutes, because it will dry your cookies out. I basically do not want to have an issue with cratering, which is the reason I use the dehydrator. But the other thing is, you guys, I've stopped using my dehydrator as much because when I sort of fell in love with royal icing transfers and actually put the time into practicing those, there's so many elements of the cookie that I used to have trouble with cratering that I no longer have trouble with cratering because I make the royal icing transfers. And the royal icing transfers, as soon as you make a sheet of them, you can pop them in the dehydrator for as long as you want to because they're just tiny elements. Here's the reason I started doing that. I really wanted to have some fancy designs on my cookies and give my customers just a little something extra, but I didn't want to dry the cookies out. And what I was finding was all those little details, because they're a small area, because the icing is thinner, for whatever reason, I was having lots of trouble. I'm going to pull this on here so you can see the actual motion. This is all I'm doing. I dipped it in water and then I'm rolling it. It's still damp, but it's not wet. Generally starting in the middle of each of these. So the reason I started doing that is because I wanted to have those details on the cookie, but I didn't want to be popping the cookie in and out of the dehydrator 3 and 4 times, right? I didn't want that dryness in the cookie. And this technique, you guys, seriously, it's springtime. Just practice this on some parchment paper because this makes gorgeous butterflies. This is a really nice detail. You can even do this on, if you put down a base undercoat, a solid base undercoat of royal icing and let it dry, you can come back with a secondary color on top of that and make butterfly royal icing transfers. And while I'm working, Mara, do you mind if I ask them a question and then just tell me what they say?
Sure.
So I was wondering, you guys, if it would help you. We really like for you to use that coffee donation site because all of the funds go directly to supporting your artist. They don't take a cut out of anything. So we want to make sure we give you something for free every week. So we've been putting up the templates or something at a reduced price. So you're getting something when you make a donation because we really appreciate the support to be able to pay for the live streams. Would it be helpful for you guys if I started posting a list for you of your supplies that I used each week and just put it in the shop for $1 or $2? Is that something that you guys might find helpful if I went ahead and put that in there for you? All right, now guys, we're going to do this one like a little dress. Mar, did that make sense?
Yes. So you want to know if they want the supply list from the project, the links where to purchase everything, just to facilitate, and they don't have to go hunting everywhere for it.
Yes, because I have a feeling we have a lot of people watching that already cookie.
You need to move over, Amy.
Oh, sorry. Let me come over here.
Yeah, perfect.
So we're going to do this one like a little dress. And I'm basically just putting the little sleeve part on. And I'm going to add a little icing here. I'm trying to keep my hand out of the way. I realized just now that I put a little too much icing in this bag because I can feel it flopping over my hand. Let me get my curve a little better here. And I hope everybody had a really nice Easter. Mara and I both had good Zoom calls. I hope everyone else did too. I really didn't honestly think we'd still be Zooming a year later, but it's not going to be much longer.
Seriously.
All right, now we're going to do this little girl like a dress. So I didn't sketch it. I think you can follow and I think you can see it. I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to give this a little swoop-de-swoop. That's its official term in Cookie Land, swoop-de-swoop. All right. The other thing that I think you guys should start doing, because I've read a lot of messages lately from people, it's important to just practice. It's important to just crank out some extra cookies and sit down and practice.
Exactly. I mean, that expression, practice makes perfect. I mean, we've heard it time and time again, but it really is that. It's kind of become, what is it, muscle memory? I mean, you just...
Yes. You feel it, right, Mar? Like once you finally get your icing where you know it's right, you feel it. You know when you have to stop and rebag. But you feel it when you're stirring it. After you've made so many cookies, you know when you're done, right?
Exactly. So yes, Joanne, the flat out donation is $3, and then if you want to buy a template, that's $2.
And then in mine today, you guys, I put up recipes. They're good recipes. I put them up at $5. You're going to make a lot of money off those recipes if you cookie. So those are going to go up to $8 after today's live. But right now I put them up at a discount at $5 each. And then I've also got the templates from last week, which are really springtime templates. So they're still useful, even though we did them last week as part of Easter.
And you can rewatch the live. It's still there if you want to rewatch it. Bright Eyes wants to know what consistency you're working with.
I use one consistency for outline and flood. And so this consistency in particular is an 18 to 20, but my brush embroidery is a toothpaste. So more like 40, more like it never moves.
Exactly. Will never heal.
So I'm doing a wet on wet to just mimic like a lace eyelet here.
Yes, and Angela is saying like she feels her consistency. And the thing, you're so right. Like that's what it is. It's all about, when you're there. But for beginners, I think that's why this whole consistency started, is just like, what can you explain to somebody that's not in your kitchen, that you're not next to? How can you articulate the consistency? So I think that's where the counting came from.
Yes, to just give you an idea where to start, right?
Exactly. I mean, it's a tough one to really to explain, right?
It is. And I tried so hard when I first started experimenting with cookies to like get it right to the seconds. And for where I live, it was never really about that. It was more about the humidity, the season, how much water was in my icing. Now you guys can see just this one quick little motion.
Amy, sorry, they were asking for the link, so now it's kind of blocking you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that good? Can you guys see? We just made the little like eyelets at the bottom. So we've got our fancy brush embroidery at the top. We've got the eyelets at the bottom. All right, now we're going to do something fun because Jeremy is here and he's going to be upset. I'm not adding candy, Jeremy, but we're going with some diamond dust real quick. We're going to give this little girl some shine. And today what I'm going to use is Candy Kiss Diamond Dust. It's a pink one, because I want you to see that it does actually show up pink on. It's going to add a little pink tint to and I'm using a pump bottle. But I like glitter on the cookies. That's FDA approved, totally food safe. But when you do that right on the wet icing, let me see if I can turn it. Can you see how it kind of sinks into the icing?
Yes.
So it's just a nice little bang on the feature cookies, right? It doesn't cost you a lot to do it. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's really quite beautiful. I'm going to pop this little girl into the dehydrator because we're going to come back, and along the bottom here, we're going to be adding the the little, what am I trying to say? Diaper cover underneath, but this one's not going to have a ruffle. Okay.
So the coffee or Ko-fi links are on the screen right now. Amy's is there. And with regards to, who was asking if the donation and the template is separate? Well, you can actually add an amount when you're purchasing the template. So if you want to do it, you can do it in one transaction. You don't have to do it separately. It allows you to add additional. And for somebody was asking what the coffee is, it's basically a support donation platform where you can the
support artists
decides what they want to upload. We upload recipes, templates, support documents for the live streams. So you can check that out if you are so inclined. That's what
right. And so there is two things on there, right, Mar, just in case they're confused. There's a place where if you don't want the template or recipes, or you don't want to buy anything out of the shop, there's a place on there where you can just buy Mar a cookie cutter. I think mine says buy a sweet tea or a cup something. Mine says sweet tea or something like that. Mar says buy a cookie cutter. It's just to help us keep the live stream expense down. I know that you guys love these, but they take tons and tons of time behind the scenes, and we want to be able to keep bringing them to you because we so enjoy sharing the art of cooking. So you can either do flat out donations on there, or you can go over to the shop and you can purchase what's in the shop. And I think they're set up where you can donate more if you want to, right? And it's a digital download, so there's no tax or anything, but 100% of both of those things come straight to us to help us out. And we very much appreciate it. I was so excited last week. I don't know if there's somebody is on here. I think it might be Heather, but I'm not sure. I need you to message me again because you meant to order the these off the cuff. So you meant to order the templates last week, but instead you just did a donation. So I told you if you'd contact me, I'd message it to you. And I'm sorry, but with all the Easter things going on last week, that got lost. Now we're going to stop right here. I'm going to pop it back into the dehydrator, let this set up. I didn't talk through this, but my bow is actually 5 sections. It's going to be this edge, this piece, the dot in the middle, this piece, and then this edge. And so I went ahead and did these two. I'll pop it in the dehydrator because I always like to do this. I like to do this where it comes up on top of these two pieces, and that's going to allow me to do the edge, the center, and this edge all at the same time. But you guys can see coming straight out of the dehydrator there, it was only in there, 4 minutes maybe. You can see how nicely it's crusted. All right, so let's pop that back in real quick, and let's pull the romper back out. So what do you think, Mar? Has the romper been in there maybe 3 minutes?
Yeah, seriously, not long.
Now, and also, guys, I know I'm pulling one cookie in and out, but when I'm cooking for an order, typically I don't do that. I leave them on the tray so I don't risk dropping them or cracking them.
Or sticking your finger in them.
Right. I do that often, too. So funny. Now, can you?
I never do that. Never.
I do that almost every time I make cookies, and especially when we're on the lives. So now, guys, I'm just using the 18 to 20 second icing that I use for outline and flooding. And I'm just basically doing a very small outline down here at the bottom. I did this as the very last little bit because I didn't want glitter on the whole cookie. I wanted glitter on the sleeves and on the dress.
So the only sure way to avoid getting it on an area is to simply not have it there.
Right. It had whatever you have to plan the cookie. So that's the last bit.
Yeah.
So that's why the little diaper is going on last. And then I'm going to show you, am I still in frame? Everything's okay?
Good.
Okay. Am I still okay on time?
You are.
Okay. Now I'm going to talk you through something, but I'm not going to add it to this cookie yet unless I think I'm going to check it and see if it's ready. And you see that little bouncing, you guys, that I just did with the tip of the bag? When I'm cooking and doing a whole bunch of cookies at once, that's just a little trick that keeps you from picking up your scribe. Okay, so last night I got in something yesterday. I love Happy Mail. Don't you love Happy Mail, Mar?
What is Happy Mail? A box? Yes.
Yeah. So I got in these new molds, and I can put the link up for you guys later. I didn't bring the packaging with me, but is Han on here? Hey, Han.
She is. Han is on.
So I did this last night with some modeling chocolate. I just colored it pink. So this one came with these 2 little leaf molds that you can use, and then it came with the little flower. So see, this mold, when you're looking at it on Etsy, it doesn't look like that attractive of a flower, does it? I mean, it's just kind of
well, they're hard to look at.
Look what it actually makes, though. Isn't that gorgeous?
It is.
So pretty. So what I did, you guys, was I took modeling chocolate. I added in some food gel to it, and I left it where it was kind of streaky. I didn't go, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I've got a little white, a little light pink, a little dark pink. So my plan, we'll see, my plan on my feature cookies was to add this. I'm going to put a little icing on the back using the same color icing in case anything were to squeeze out, right? Once I attach the cookie, I'm going to just drop this on the center. And look, you guys, there's a lot of steps on this cookie. This is not a $3 cookie. Please don't charge $3 for a cookie like this. You'll just overwork yourself. This cookie has a lot of detail. It's got brush embroidery. It's got an embellishment added. It's got some handwork down here with the eyelet lace. So, but what a beautiful feature cookie in your set. And then I did make the little leaves, and they're really cute. I can only use modeling chocolate for about another month, and then it's going to be too hot, and we're going to have to go back to using fondant, in which case they'll probably just pop it off the cookie. But right now they're getting chocolate, so that's really pretty. Thanks, Han. You buy me sweet tea or coffee. I don't care, a cupcake, whatever you want. Just help me keep making videos because I love it. I love spending time with you guys. So I did make the little leaves because I wanted you to see that proportionately they're correct. But on an actual cookie that I was doing for an order, it's much more likely that I would come back and I would use, no, it's just slightly crusted over. It's not sinking at all. Can you see? It's no. Now, I would wait until this cookie had dried overnight normally before adding that. But you guys have seen I've only been working on this cookie about 8 minutes or so, and it's on top of it and it's fine. Let's see. So anyway, what I was going to tell you was I would go back to using a leaf tip, or I would cut my tipless piping bag in the leaf tip, and I would add royal icing leaves to this just to finish it off, which is what I'll be doing for this order. Now, let me tell you one thing, okay? Because, hey, Carrie helps with all the cutters. So I'm glad you're on here. Thank you for coming on today. Carrie is Katrina's sister at Dots and Bows. And I think my mom's on here somewhere. So everyone, all family day. What I was going to tell you with this is, what was I going to tell them, Mar?
I have no clue what you were going to say.
Yeah, don't do this. I do not put your chocolate bits on and put it in the dehydrator.
Oh my, yes.
You have to be you have to be very conscious, you guys. If you're flipping back and forth between using fondant and using modeling chocolate at different times, please don't do that. Do a whole tray of these and pop them in there. Obviously it's going to go all over the tray. You're heating up chocolate. And ask me why I know that. I don't want to admit it. but
it's the best way to learn. Then you never do it again when you screw it up like that.
But I think that I'm just going to share that knowledge with you. So isn't this sweet for a feature cookie in there, right? Now, we were going to do a little bit of airbrushing, but I think I'm going to save that for next week. And what we're going to do is just finish up this bib. It might be crusted enough that I could show you that, but I think that I'd like to save that. No, you know what, Mar, do you mind if I do a little airbrushing real quick? I forgot. I shielded off my stencil.
Oh, perfect.
And I think it's crusted enough. It feels like it is.
Well, I mean, if it isn't, you're going to forgive Amy if she cracks the cookie a little bit. You guys are going to understand what she's trying to just show there. But the live stream, we're really pressed when we're trying to show something and it hasn't had time to set up. So if it does crack, we forgive you.
Yeah, okay. And so it's a rose. It's a rose template or stencil. I'll tell you where it's from when I get done because I don't remember, but I think it's Cookie Countess. And it's just a generic rose template. You can use a triple layer, whatever. This is a single. I'm going to use some Preppy Pink. I checked my Preppy Pink against my pink icing color before I did this because, you know, no pink is equal, right? So let me just show you a tip. Whenever you put something in your gun, always test that color on paper towel for 2 reasons: to make sure any of the color that you used before is out of there, and also to make sure that it's coming out properly, right? And we're going to go with applying low amounts. And I shielded it with painter's tape. It's the least tacky painter's tape. You can also do it with Post-it notes. It's that level of tackiness, so it doesn't mess your stencil up.
Yeah,
and you guys,
the tape could break your stencil.
Yeah, I'm just building a little bit of color at a time, right? Can you see that on camera that it's different?
Yeah, we can see that it's intensifying.
Okay, and I did put, you don't need this much. Do you see what I did? It got away from me because I was talking. But you don't need that much. Don't put that much in there. Now let's do something fun because I love this.
Let's glitter it up.
Mara, you knew what was coming.
She's glitter giddy.
I want the glitter on just the part that we just did, okay? So that's like 2 or 3 spritzes. You guys, I've had this since Christmas. A little goes a very long way. I've used it on cakes and cookies. I still have that much left. It seems expensive when you buy it, but look what it does to your cookie. Oh, and you have to forgive me. My rose is a little low. So probably what I'll do. Oh, and look, I cracked this. This part was crusted, but this wasn't ready. So I'll probably go back and add a little detail here, like my leaf. So never trash a cookie because it's not perfectly centered. You can easily come back and add a little leaf going up in this direction and a little leaf in this direction. Then it will look like you did it on purpose. Okay. Mm-hmm. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm also going to show you how to fix this bow. This probably would not normally happen to you because you would have waited for it to dry. But again, we're live. So we're just going to roll with it. And I think it'll be a good teaching opportunity.
Perfect. So
what we're going to do is just peel this off. And I'm just using a thingamajiggy, the little pink one, but I'm going to switch to a boo-boo stick because it's a little bit smaller. Those are really their names. I didn't make this stuff up. I'm going to peel that off. I'm going to come over to the other side. So just watch what's happening.
Why are you taking that side off?
Because I'm going to change the whole bow so we can finish the bow.
Oh.
And so that we don't have to go back to the dehydrator again. I'm going to just show you a little trick just because we're live. If we weren't live, I would just pop off the one side. I would ice it, pop it back in the dehydrator, and then come back to it. Okay. But technically, you guys, if we weren't live, it wouldn't have happened because the cookie, I would have done like 12 of these and then come back and it would have been fine. But I really wanted to show you, of course, the glitter and that little bit of airbrushing. I feel so inspired to airbrush all the time now, Mar.
You do? So I just want to answer Bright Eyes. So Bright Eyes asking, can we put the glitter in a pump bottle?
Well, the glitter for sure you can, and luster dust you can too, but you don't get the same effect when you spray luster dust on. It doesn't glitter up like this does. Do you see how shiny this is? And luster dust is more like for shading, right? It's more like for shading and to get a deeper area. At least I think it is. I use it more for that.
Well, what I'd worry about, because the luster dust is quite pricey, and I would worry about having it, fall on the ground and just not go in the bottle, and you'd end up wasting maybe some. Maybe you're better to just kind of finish it up and get a separate bottle in the pump that is made by the manufacturer, and whatever falls on the ground is at their expense.
Yes, they do make, okay, let's go Dollar Tree for a moment. I hate to tell you Dollar Tree every week, but you can go Dollar Tree and get the baby funnels if you're really just not good with that.
But the thing is, with the glitter, everything I've ever seen, it adheres. There's like a static electricity, and it sticks on everything. And so you're losing so much of the product. The thing that I found that it doesn't stick onto is a sheet of paper.
Or parchment. Do you use parchment? I just roll up parchment, but I think
I find paper is the thing that it really doesn't stick to, a sheet of paper.
Yeah, and I don't like loading my own bottles because let's face it, you guys have seen me live enough now that you know that my hand's going in it, something's going to fall over. I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah. The airbrush the airbrush Renee. Jeremy was kind enough to put a link here. It's in, I also have the link in my shop. If you go on Facebook, I have a shop icon. The airbrush that I like is there, but thank you, Jeremy, for putting that. That's like my Amazon kind of recommendations.
All right, so I'm going to pop this in the dehydrator. Mar, when it gets crusted enough while you're teaching, I'll finish that last bit and show you. I just want to show them one other thing before we move on. I'm not going to do a whole cookie. I just want to talk you through. What did I do with that cookie, y'all? Sorry. You see, I work in this little teeny area and I still lose things. Okay. So this is the one we finished. Remember I said I wanted to tell you how to flip this cookie. So what you would do with this cookie, and let me get a little pointer, you could come back to make the back side of this cookie. You could do your brush embroidery right here, both sections. You would do the pink dress just like on the front, minus the flower. If you wanted to, you could come in at a little V so it's obvious that it's the back of a little girl's dress. Normally they come in at a V here, maybe have a few dots for buttons if you wanted to, because on a summer dress that has these frills, that's how it is. But this is the best part. Don't make the dress come down as far, right? Think about like what a diaper cover would look like. And this was done with my, it might even come off here. Oh yeah, it's going to come off. I just did this right before we started. I would do this normally right on the cookie. I just wanted you guys to have something to look at before we got started though. So I popped it in the dehydrator, but look what you can do with that tip that you guys know is my favorite. All I did was I took a piece of parchment paper to do this little ruffle. I laid it over top of where the onesie was. I used my piping tip and made the ruffle, and the ruffle is in a previous video. You see that? And look at how cute. So it looks like the little diaper covers. Isn't that sweet? And you could do these plenty ahead of time because they do take a considerable amount of icing. And you could just pop them on when the cookie is wet. Once you do the little dress piece, you can pop that right on. I will tell you, I've tried this using two colors or doing it with the same color underneath. It looks a lot better if you do the same color underneath with the ruffles than it does say to pipe this in white and then pop this on in pink. It looks much nicer if whatever you do in the ruffle is also what you do for the base there, okay?
I'm looking at, I wonder how uncomfortable it is for a little girl to sit with that much fabric on their bums.
You know what? I think my mom said I hated those things when I was a kid, that I much preferred. Yeah, but now they're super soft. Now they're very, very soft.
Different material.
Okay. Totally different. So definitely an improvement since the 70s. All right. Well, Mar, that's it for me today. And I'll finish that other thing up so I can do the controls if you want.
Well, thank you, Amy.
Let me do the camera dance real quick. I hope you guys enjoyed that.
I'd like to think so. Both the cookies are very cute, and there was some great techniques. So I switched my camera. Hopefully we have no problems. If there is, just I'll do a quick switch, but it should be fine.
I'm in a good spot, right?
Yeah, so this is kind of like a follow-up on the cookie school lesson I taught this month. I put videos on how to design your stencils. And so I was making a set of a onesie with a little rubber duck, which is kind of like a classic design. This was popular years ago, and it's just cute, the little duck. And so I thought it would be kind of sweet to have a matching stencil to go with the little duck, the little rubber duck. And so I designed a stencil, which is what's in the coffee shop. That's the stencil. It's already made. There's actually a tutorial also included showing how to properly format the cutting machine to make sure that they align well. And so when you're airbrushing, we're going to do it, but just to explain, certain colors do not lay over each other very well. If you've watched previous live streams, I've explained that the color is translucent. And so you want to either have them completely separate from each other, but if you're going to lay them on top of each other, they have to kind of like work together. So the duck is yellow. And so when I lay airbrush on top in orange, it doesn't compromise the orange, even though the yellow is behind it. Okay?
You're such a good teacher, Mar. I played with that this weekend with my airbrush, like what color would turn the color under it to a different color. It's kind of like melting the modeling chocolate one time. I messed up a cookie a few weeks ago, and I thought, oh, I knew better. Mar's going to be unhappy with me.
So here's here's the cookie. Okay, so now I did a little. If you watched the pansy video, I had trouble. I fiddled a little bit with the alignment of the stencils. So I created this as kind of like a guide, so I wouldn't have to play with the alignment. You see, so the cookie's going to be there. So when I come back with my second stencil, I'll know exactly where to put it.
Look at you! Did they get all that in the thing today?
I can add the little square, but I figured like you just make a square the size of your stencil holder, and then whatever cookie shape you're using. So here you can see I don't have the gray section. I only have the white section that's dried. I don't want to have the ducks here. So if you don't want to have something airbrushed, don't have it there, and you don't have to worry about not airbrushing in a certain area. And now I'm looking in yellow.
Let me answer a couple questions real quick, Mark. Okay, so the stencils for this are going to be in Marlon's Facebook cookie school. And they're going to be in there, or they're already in there, one or the other, but they will be there. You can purchase them through Ko-fi today for the donation. That way you get something free for donating to support the live streams. What was that question about the paper towels? Let's see, hold on. Do you practice the colors first on a paper towel? Yes, I usually do. I don't. Do you, Mar? Do you tuck it first?
And in this case here, well, I have a sheet of paper. The point of the paper is just to make sure that when I come with my second stencil that I can quickly align it's a layered stencil. So it gets a little tricky to know exactly, you know, where the next, you know.
I love that you solved that problem already. I love it.
So this is yellow, egg yolk yellow. There's a lot of different yellows. I like this one. The electric yellow is nice, but it's a little too bright. I find this one has like a bit of a, I don't know, it's like a bit softer. It's less aggressive, you know?
Yes. Did you put a color wheel up at some point when you were doing airbrushing? They're asking about a color wheel in a previous post.
When it was the pansy, the big pansy we did. They looked like pansy. So now this is a full onesie. So we're going to see the difference between having you know, the onesie with a full pattern full of ducks, to see, you know, if you prefer like having it just be a whole big onesie. If you look at actual onesies or footsies, this is called, I think.
Yes.
You know, they're like little, you know, there's fashion for kids. There's so many different styles. And
do you know they still make those for adults?
Yes, I know. I've seen.
You have a question about the price on Get the Live price. Someone's at work and they're wondering about ordering it later.
Well, I've been leaving it for the 24 hours. I am conscious that some people can't be watching right away. So I did leave it last week, and I'll leave it again this week. So now, because of that square, I'm able to quickly come in now, and this stencil is the beaks and the wings. So you're kind of like looking a little bit at I focus on the beak. So you give yourself a reference point to kind of like know what needs to be aligned. Okay. And then once you're in your spot, I'm going to just empty my airbrush in the garbage.
So Mar, when Jeremy's wife was pregnant, she lived in her footy pajamas.
Oh, she did?
I wore my footy pajamas all the way through college. It was cold up here back then.
Was it?
It was. It was much more bitter winters 20, 30 years ago. I'll say 30 because 30 is the truth. 30 years ago than now.
Yes. So you want to focus on the beaks because they're like truly orange. And then I'm just going to do like a little misting for the wing. I don't want the wing to be so orangey. I want the beak to be orange. But like the wing can just be, oh, of course, I'm out of power.
Just a hint. Mar, Susan is asking, I think she's from England, so I don't know situation on what she can purchase there, but she's asking if you prefer Cricut or Silhouette.
For everything that I don't have a Cricut, okay, to be able to tell you like, oh, Cricut, blah, blah, blah. But from what I've seen, the Silhouette, for me, their program is far superior with regards to the actual.
I've heard that too about the design part of it. And Bright Eyes, I can't tell you anything right now, but you're going to be really excited about something that's coming. So just hold that, okay?
All right, so I'm focusing now. I just switched, my battery died and I had the airbrush fluid in my gun. I didn't want to waste it. So I just unscrewed it and put it on another one of my guns.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, Renee, when you download it, you do have to cut the stencil yourself. However, a lot of the stencils that Mar puts up, they're super easy to print them out on regular paper and then just trim them out with an X-Acto knife and like cardstock. So you don't have to make the investment of getting the Cricut or the silhouette right away, just something new for you to try. A lot of times she puts things up for you to just show you place markers. So you don't actually have to have a full-on stencil until you get to that point.
So there it is. So now we can just do the other one so we can see the two kind of next to each other. So again, I'm going to line up my beaks.
Look, I just love these footy pajamas. They're so cute.
This is, I have to say, a nice cutter. It's by Anne Clark. I like this. It's kind of a cutesy design. It could be done.
Carrie does a lot of design work, and they also use silhouette over Cricut. They have both, but they use the silhouette over too.
Oh yeah. Amber, she just bought hers after seeing just the design possibilities. She just got hers, I think, yesterday.
Oh, so good. Renee has a silhouette. So once you get into it, the way Mar sets it up, it's super easy. You'll love it. And they love these, Mar. Everyone's saying adorable, super cute. Can't wait to make these.
And there we go. So now let's move this so we can see.
Firefly, we don't ship, so no way to get you the actual stencils. We're just trying to put something up for when you make donations so you get something for your donation because we just want to say thank you. But neither one of us makes or ships stencils.
It's just, it's impossible to do the tutorials, the videos, and then, it's like, it's just not.
Olga is saying Jeremy's trying to be your new virtual assistant. Well, you know what, Olga, we so appreciate that Jeremy helps us out. And when he's not here, he has to check in now. It's kind of a requirement. He has to let us know when he's not going to be at one of the lives because he helps so much.
So now I'm just filling in this side. I opted for taupe. My first thought was blue, but I thought I have the cookies here that I would do water bubbles. Just just blue bubbles to go with the duck, and so it's like
cute
cookies to kind of like you can kind of quickly, if you need just extra cookies, you want to have bite-sized cookies. I thought it was just a nice extra that's super easy to do.
So Mar, I see you're using a tip today. I know someone's going to ask, is that like a 2 or a 3, a number 2 or 3?
That was a 3, and the reason is just because I wanted to be able to work quickly, right?
Yes. So if you don't cut stencils ourselves, yeah, they can. If they purchase the download, it's okay to have someone else cut the stencil for them, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no problem, guys. If you have someone else that has a silhouette, that'd be great.
So there is the kind of the two next to each other. You can kind of see how that looks. And I'm just going to finish off the other one. Where's my
Susan, the downloads come to you automatically when you do the purchase. You get an email and it takes you right to it and you download it. Oh, Jeremy, you totally are. You're a great virtual assistant. You do a great job. And thank you for dropping in all those links today.
And now here, I'm going to finish this one just because of the fact that there's nothing on there.
It's so cute. See, you guys, if you had to do a big order and you needed to keep the price down, you could stop right there where she did the whole thing, You just with the airbrushing, that's such a cute cookie.
Can you hear the dog barking? She's having a fit.
Olga. I can't hear her, but you guys, have you noticed I remembered to unplug the phone today?
Oh, thank you.
You haven't heard the phone, right? We have an airbrush question. Let me pop it up there for your airbrush question. How can I airbrush guidelines on a chocolate cookie? Could they do that with a white?
If you don't have white, silver does a great job too. If you happen to have silver, that'll work.
Oh, Jeremy, you dropped one link and now there's expectations. You're absolutely right. You have to help every time. He does it every time anyway, doesn't he, Mar?
He does.
We really appreciate it. Even with 2 of us, sometimes it's hard to keep up. The comments just scroll so fast.
Exactly. So you see now, this is a #2 piping tip. This is a PME. They're a little bit more expensive, but they really do a great job.
Tell them about the PME, why it's different. Somebody new is probably on here wondering what that even means.
The fabrication of them, they're made out of one like piece of steel. They're like hammered out or something. I don't work there. I don't know, but like usually they're like bent and there's a seam, where these are seamless. And so the icing doesn't seem to curl as much in a wonky kind of direction. So here you can kind of see the two of them. And then if we put our initial, you know, so when I
look at that with the ducky, that is so cute.
When I designed this is actually, I drew the duck. I traced the duck in my Pixelmator, and I actually used that actual duck to make the stencil. So
there's a duck cutter out that's a little Peeps cutter. I don't remember where it came from, but it looks very much like that duck with the feet cut off. And Laura's saying the white was runny, so maybe Laura used the silver.
Oh, okay. And so I just want to show you quickly here. I have the duck and I made some chocolate cookies. That's why it's like a bit different. That's for a future video, the chocolate cookies. But you can see when you're working, it just changes it and gives it like an outline. And I just want to show you, if you don't want to mix a ton of icing colors. So here I'm filling in the beak, okay? And I have actually wings left over from Easter. That's what that wing is on the duck, is from the chick, if you watch that live stream where I showed how to make those wings. And so I'm just going to pop this on this paper towel here.
So cute, Mar.
Because it's chocolate, you're not going to see any of the overspray. Boom, I have orange right there. I don't have to mix a patch of orange icing.
Look at how cute. And it looks highlighted. It actually looks like a real beak would look.
And then I can immediately come in and finish off the cookie. I'm actually going to cut a bigger hole. I got no time for this.
Hey, you know what? We still have 3 minutes before we even have to talk about going over. We're doing great today.
Yeah. And so these little loops are just to give a bit of a scallop on the outside there. It gives a little, like it's easier to do the point there. And I'm just going to quickly flood my cookie. And you can see it looks completely different when you're working on a chocolate cookie. Chocolate dough is a little bit more expensive if you're buying good quality cocoa, but
that cocoa makes all the difference though, doesn't it?
Well, if you buy grocery store cocoa, not to be, you know,
right,
a chocolate snob, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I like that. I'll have to look for the brand, but there's one that tastes like Oreo cookies, which some people don't like Oreos, but I do like Oreos.
Well, that's it.
And it has that flavor to it.
Well, I mean, chocolate is a little bit like coffee in that everybody has their tastes, right? Like, so I'm just giving the cookie a bit of a rock. So when you're putting eyes on with pearls, you want to do that while the icing is wet. You don't want to be popping in a pearl once the icing is dry. It's going to sit on the outside of the head and look very peculiar.
And hey, if you guys are new today, use PME pearls. Don't use the Wilton pearls for this. You'll be very disappointed tomorrow if you use a Wilton pearl. It'll bleed.
You see how quickly that came together?
Yes.
Boom, I have my little accent cookie.
I used your wing after you did that tutorial a few weeks ago where you did the egg shape and did the chick on the egg shape.
Okay.
That's how I ended up making my side wings for my Easter cookies.
So here I'm trying again I don't do this technique very much, but for the sake of live streams, and we're talking always about saving time. So I'm just going to add some blue icing in here, and we're going to woohoo!
Look at that. Yes, Carrie's right. It's the dark cocoa from Creative Cookie or from Jenny.
So here's my little round cookie. I'm just dropping it on the surface of the icing, and I'm lifting it off. And when you lift it off, there's like a point that
tail
just from the suction onto the surface of the icing, like it's like pulling. And
Laura, look at our Africa follower, Laura.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Now nobody wants vanilla.
Oh yeah, well that cocoa is, if she's using the berry, I would imagine it's available in Africa.
Yeah, it's the bomb diggity of cocoa, right?
Yeah, there it is. So I really actually like the dipped kind of for the water look.
Yes. Oh, Denise, every time I've used Wilton pearls, they've ruined every single time. So I just use the PME now.
And you just kind of like, you can fiddle with the surface if you need to.
That's so cool.
It
And you
gives
guys, look how easy she's doing that to get it to settle.
Well, the icing has to be a bit runnier than you would use. And here I have an even tinier one.
How great if there's going to be kids at the shower, though. How great, because you don't want to give them the whole big cookie, right?
Exactly. Oh, there. And be prepared to stick your fingers in it with the dipped stuff.
Right.
Kind of unavoidable. Here, I'm going to try to be in frame here. And then when you're done using up when you're done using your blue, you can add more. So some people add actual food gel to the bowl. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. I find that it leaves, like, depending on your gel, it can leave like actual clumps of food gel in the icing. I like to mix a little bit of blue icing.
Does that even dry if you do straight food gel? Does it dry or just
clump? I don't know, but I don't like the look of it. Like, it makes me a bit grossed out, actually.
Yeah. I wonder what it tastes like. It's probably tastes a little bitter, huh? For me, Olga, the PME pearls are magic. Every time I use Wilton, it ruins my cookies. And it's just that one bead, though. None of the pink do it. None of the yellow beads. It's only the black ones that I've had the problem with.
So that's the quick way to accent this little set. So here, let me bring the duck that's dry.
Those are so cute.
And you can kind of see here, you see how that could be paired up. You want that with either the full onesie, either the onesie that has the little gray side and then the little bubbles in a nice box. I think that's a cute little platter. You could add a bunch of bubbles.
I could see a whole birthday set with the rubber ducky and the bubbles, like doing different little rubber duckies.
Well, it's very sweet, like it's cute. It's like something that's not, and I think you could do a pink rubber duckies.
Absolutely.
Blue duckies. You could do whatever you want.
You know, Oriental Trading sells those rubber duckies like 24 in a set, like super cheap, right? And all of them are different. You could really look on there and get some great ideas.
Yeah.
And everyone is saying too cute, adorable. They love them.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Is there any questions? The PME. Love the dip color size for me. Yeah, the dip ones. I mean, I like a cookie that I don't have to take a bite of. I really like that it's in my mouth and I don't have to look like you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And that's why I like that last week when I did that hexagon and you suggested cutting that in half to finish filling in the gaps. So when you boxed it, it didn't move. I like that idea for that too. That makes it like a 2-bite cookie.
Yes, perfect. So Amy, did you want to finish your thing?
I'm just going to pull it out and show you real quick. I added the dot and popped it back in the dehydrator.
So you're going to have to adjust your camera.
Yep. I'm going to pop over and move myself over to the side real quick.
So thank you everyone who bought the templates and Amy's recipes and donated coffees today and maybe sent stars. I can't see the stars from the platform that we streamed from, but thank you so much, everybody.
So let's take a look here real quick. I just went back and added that last dot to get a little definition. If we had finished the bow, if I hadn't put the airbrushing on it right, we would have ended up with what looked like a little tail on this end and then a bow ruffle right here. Or you could even do this part up here and you could come down here and put a bigger tail if you wanted to. But just a sweet little set, right? Couple different ways to get the beautiful little roses on there and some nice brush embroidery.
Exactly. So like that rose stencil, let's say the onesie where the ducks are, you could do half a rose onesie. I mean, there's so many design possibilities.
I could see that rubber ducky on this done in a nice spring yellow and do you know, like a pale green and then do the duckies. Can you do the yellow over the green though? Probably not, right? What can you airbrush the yellow over that it'll stay yellow? Over white?
Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. You'd have to do icing stenciling.
Gotcha.
Do it in icing, which isn't that bad. It's a shape that's pretty
yeah.
I mean, certain shapes don't stencil in icing well. I think that this shape would be fine, and then you could easily come back over and do the little beaks.
Yeah, that's a great solution. To that stencil would be you could just do the ducky outline, right? And then go back.
Speaking of that, as you're saying that, my brain, I wanted to show one thing.
Okay.
Guys, I know recently there's been a fad where people are doing wet on wet patterns and then they're coming in with a marker. Well, this here, super fast, you could come in with your marker and for this look that everybody's doing, and you could come in and quickly.
Yes, I love that. I love to use that technique on flowers. It looks like I don't know, it's some particular style of artwork.
Yes, so you see, so you can very, very quickly, and I should have done it before I added the outline, but I just
that is great.
Like quickly, you're able to come in and outline, and this marker is drip color. It's 0.3. It's in my shop on my Facebook shop there. I have the link there.
Look, Mark, and somebody made your Easter cookies for their customers and they loved them.
Awesome. Makes me happy. Could you make sprinkles with the duck template? I think you could do, yes, those stickers, like stencil swipes. I think so. You just put the icing on a little thicker.
How thick does that need to be to do a swipe? Are we talking 6 millimeter material or 7?
The thing is the plastic doesn't have to be thick, because the thicker the plastic, the harder it is to cut. You just have to go thick with your icing.
Okay.
And so when you lift it off, it cuts the icing. And then if you've got a lot of curling around the edge, you just lay a little piece of parchment paper on the top, and it flattens it out. You don't want to smash the parchment paper on. You just want to lay it on, and then they'll still dry, and you're going to get none of that kind of little curl happening. You know?
Oh, yeah. And somebody wants a bow class. Bows are coming up for me. I know in something I'm doing soon, we're going to do that really cool Lila Loa bow cutter. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so easy to outline, and you don't have to like wait another time for them to be, you know, like, because you're airbrushing right away, the airbrush is dry. You can come in with the marker and trace out all your little ducks, you see? Yeah.
Isn't that cool? And look at how much it pops.
Well, if you're going to do it, I recommend you do half the onesie, because if you have to outline the ducks on the full onesie, it's going to take a really long time. And it is nice just like that. I mean, it's not like that it needs it, but I just wanted to show you the option. This is really in right now, this marker outline.
Yeah.
And this is much, much faster. Like,
if you made one big duck stencil, like one large duck, like the size of my rose, and did it on a solid, then it would be a nice feature cookie too, right? And do the outline on that one.
Well, the thing is, the stencil, you can edit the stencil and make a bigger duck to go on the front of the onesie. I mean,
can they do that in silhouette? They can take that stencil and make bigger ducks?
Sure.
Oh, look, you guys, another tip.
Oh, see, she's been wanting to make her own sprinkles.
So many good ideas today. This was fun, Mar.
Yeah. So that's it. So thanks everyone for
thank you.
Us, and I hope that we gave you a few tidbits that you'll be able to use for your future projects. Tag us in your pictures. We like to see that. If you want to, I click on Instagram the Cookie Therapy hashtag. So
I haven't been doing that. I'll have to do that. So if you guys make these, hashtag Cookie Therapy, we'll get us a little thing running over there, huh? Is there a bunch on there yet?
There's a few. It's mostly my own stuff, I think, that's tagged. But I mean, you know, if you guys want to tag, we love to see it. So thanks for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed it. I'll be on Friday with Amber and Han. It's me and Amber that are decorating. Han is manning the controls. So we'll see you on Friday, and next Tuesday with Amy. Thanks so much for everybody joining us. And you can watch the replay on our Facebook, on YouTube. And yeah, thanks everybody.
Thank you so much, you guys. It was fun to spend time with you today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.